Not sure what 10DLC campaign to use with GoHighLevel? Well, have no fear. We're going to be digging into each of the different campaign use cases and types to figure out which one is perfect for you in your business. Hi, my name is Will Craig. I'm a co-founder of a company called Signal House. Signal House is a messaging provider that specializes in providing connectivity for CRM systems. However, we can power any system that sends a message from application to person or from person to application. So let's go ahead and dive in and figure out which campaign is best for you on GoHighLevel. Okay, so first let's talk a little bit about the 10DLC approval process. So 10DLC starting out is 10-digit long code. So basically what this means is these are phone numbers that you're all familiar with, where the first 3 digits correspond with a local area code in the United States. So for us, we're headquartered in Columbus, Ohio. So 614 would be our area code if we were looking for a 10DLC. So what about A2P? So 10DLC A2P is the other part of that sort of channel phrase. That is application to person. So that just means sending from a software system to a human being's handset on their mobile phones. That is all that means. So let's dig into this review process. It's going to be a 2-step review process. The first one is going to be your 10DLC brand. This brand is just your company information. It is just making sure that you are who you say you are and that you are able to represent whatever company you are registering with. So they're going to be looking at your company name, your EIN, your address, the type of organization, private versus public versus nonprofit, making sure that all of that lines up with an IRS database. So long as it does, you get an approval and you're on to your campaign approval. Campaign review happens at an organization called the Direct Connect Aggregator. This is a middleman between your messaging provider. So Signal House, for example, is a messaging provider, or Lead Connector if you're using the standard on GoHighLevel. The Direct Connect Aggregator is who actually is going to be reviewing that campaign. Now, we have a really good video, a masterclass of getting your campaigns approved on GoHighLevel. Check that out on our YouTube page. You'll learn all about this DCA approval process, what's different between Signal House, for example, and Lead Connector. There's a lot of different approval processes that have to happen on Lead Connector versus just one on Signal House. So definitely something to look into. But now that we all understand the key differences between the 10DLC approval process, let's talk about the different campaign types. So you have 2 broad types, standard and special use. We're going to focus on standard because 99.99% of you who are GoHighLevel users doing outbound marketing, outbound messaging with your customers, you're going to be on a standard use case. So there's different types of standard use cases, and the use cases specifically correspond to the reason that you're doing messaging. So for example, customer support is a use case. So is account notifications. So is 2-factor authentication. So is marketing. What I always recommend doing for your campaign type is going mixed use. Now, the reason for this is because the line between marketing and customer care can be very, very thin. Let's say that you are a general contractor. So your company is building out whatever an individual needs within their home. You could reach out to someone 6 months later and say, hey, how are those new wood floors holding up? And they might say, we're seeing a little bit of a matte finish appearing. And it could just be because they didn't choose to go with the type of finishing that you initially recommended. They wanted to save a little bit on costs. Now you could say, oh, you know what? That totally makes sense. We could come in and clean that right up for you. It would be X price. When does that customer support fade into marketing? It's a really good question. It's something that the DCAs, the Direct Connect aggregators, and the carriers are looking at, and they are filtering messages. If you specifically register your campaign as customer support and that starts drifting, they call it drift content, it starts drifting into marketing, they can shut down your messaging. So it's just something to be aware of. If you think that you're going to be doing customer support and marketing, if marketing is going to be something that you're doing with your messaging, and I would recommend that we all register our messaging for marketing, at least to some extent, because there might be a situation where you have the perfect product for someone, you should be able to market that. So mixed use campaign, one of them being marketing, one of them being customer care, is something that I definitely recommend. Now let's talk about the difference between standard and low volume. So again, I told you that there's standard and special use case, but within standard, there's also a cheaper monthly variant that is a low volume variant. This low volume variant is by its nature a mixed use case. So low volume is going to be the first use case, and then you can choose customer care, you can choose marketing, you can choose account notification, you can really choose whatever you want. The key difference between a standard campaign and a low volume campaign is going to be your throughput limits and the monthly price. So for a standard campaign, you're going to get 240 SMS messages per minute with AT&T, and you're going to get a total of 2,000 messages per day with T-Mobile. If you're on a low volume campaign, you're going to get 75 messages per minute with AT&T. That's SMSs per minute with AT&T, and you're going to get a total of 2,000 per day of T-Mobile, so the same as your standard, but a maximum of 6,000 messages per day. If you are sending less than 6,000 messages each day, go low volume mixed. The reason is because you have multiple use cases covered within that mixed use case. So you're not going to get penalized for drift content. You're not going to have your messages filtered for drift content. And you are saving money. You're saving $8.50 per month. It is a $1.50 recurring fee versus a $10 recurring fee for a standard campaign. Your lead connector campaigns most likely are standard. You're paying $8.50 extra. And if you're not eclipsing 6,000 messages per day, that is just lost ROI. Every single cent that you spend on your messages going out, you can tie to a direct ROI. And if it is not the most efficient use of your funds, then obviously that ROI is decreasing. So that's something that you absolutely need to be sure of. Now let's talk about the final thing that I want to cover in this is if you do go mixed use, what should your CTAs or call to actions look like on your website? So if you do use a mixed use case and marketing is one of the use cases that you use, and again, and if you ever want to market your product, I strongly recommend it is one of your use cases. The thing that you have to know is that in your campaign submission through GoHighLevel on Lead Connector, one of the things that you're going to want to make sure that you do is that you have multiple CTAs as part of your call to action and message flow. So again, we have a lot of videos on our channel about how to specifically fill out this campaign approval. So please dig into that, look into that, and review those videos. That will be super helpful for you. But the key here on the message flow that you're actually submitting as part of your campaign, you want to guide that reviewer because, again, these DCAs are individually reviewing each one of your campaign submissions. It is just a normal human being working a 9 to 5 who's reviewing that submission. So you want to lay it out perfectly for them. So there's no ambiguity. There's no room for error. They review it. They know it. They can feel very confident checking it off and approving it. So you want to walk step by step through. Let's say, again, you're a general contractor and they're going to come to your website. They're going to click on contact us and there's going to be the options there. So in your call to action message flow, you need to say, we provide people with a link that they can go to get to our website. Once they get to the landing page of our website, there's going to be a get in touch with us or a contact us in the top right-hand corner. They click on that and they are presented with a web form. The web form is going to collect basic information like first name, last name, email, and phone number. The phone number is optional. They can submit the form without checking any boxes related to the phone number. Underneath the box, we have a call to action for marketing messaging. This call to action has to have the who, the what, the when, the where, the how, and the cost. Again, we cover this in a lot of other videos. The who is who they're consenting to, so your actual company. The what is the type of messaging they're consenting to, so customer support. The when is how frequently you're going to message them. So message frequency may vary. The where can they see your privacy policy? On the submission that you're submitting via the campaign registry or when you're submitting the campaign via Lead Connector, you can just put that the privacy policy is below, or you can link the privacy policy in the actual submission itself. But on your website, you need to actually link the privacy policy within that call to action. The how can I opt out and how can I get help? Stop, help for help. That's really all you need to put in there, but you have to have a way for them to stop and a way for them to get help. So for cost, message, and data rates may apply. And so that's the who, the what, the when, the where, the how, and the cost. Those are all of the items that you need in your CTA on your website and that you should replicate within the call to action and message flow when you're submitting via Lead Connector or on the campaign registry. And also, just a quick note to everyone, Signal House is in the process of building our GoHighLevel application. So we are really excited about this. We're seeing campaign approvals within 48 hours, and we guide you through that campaign approval process, making sure that you're getting absolutely the most out of your messaging and that we're able to get you approved quickly and that you're able to use all of GoHighLevel's features along with all the best features of Signal House, like quick approvals, like a dedicated link shortener so that you always have a short link that you can track open rates and click-through rates and everything else, and have all the analytics and data that you need to know how effective your messaging is. So we're really excited about bringing this to GoHighLevel, and we will be bringing it very, very soon. So please stay on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, we want to get you approved on Lead Connector because we are that confident that once you see our application, you will love it, that we want to get you pre-approved on Lead Connector because we can just port that phone number right over to Signal House and get the real power of business messaging that Signal House offers very, very quickly. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me, will@signalhouse.io. I would love to help guide you through that campaign approval process because, again, we know that once you try our app, you're going to absolutely love it. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We're going to be releasing videos every single day, helping you navigate the business messaging ecosystem, and be on the lookout for that. So thanks so much.